Warning, this footage contains explicit advanced cloud chasing builds. Do not attempt these type of builds without understanding safety precautions involving voltages, currents, resistance, and Ohm's law. Viewer discretion is advised.
Okay, today guys, we're going to do a build tutorial of stitched aliens, specifically dual core stitched aliens. A lot of people, when they do aliens, it's really hard to keep the wires side by side. They always want to kind of slip off each other and not stay stacked side by side. So one easy solution is take out one of the core wires. There is a little step in there you'll need to do differently to be able to use those two core wires. I'm going to show you that today. Things you're going to need are, here's a list of things you're going to need. For the wire, what I'm using is 36 gauge, 33 gauge, 26 gauge, 24 gauge. And for the tools, I need scissors for cutting wick, wire cutters, pliers, ceramic tip tweezers, regular tweezers, small screwdriver or poking device to tuck in my cotton, screwdriver that I'm going to use to wrap my coils around. This is a 1/8, 3mm, and my Allen tool for my posts. Got Japanese unbleached organic cotton, gloves to wick with, one of which I'm wearing, not just for the fashion, but this hand was injured, so for sanitary purposes. No glove, no love. And the juice I'm going to be dripping today is Frosted O's. It is a honey nut, like O's, I guess Cheerios type of thing, frosted in a bowl of milk. Kind of like that little bit of milk you get at the bottom of the bowl after it's all done. It's really good, creamy, kind of oaty, very cereally, corny, I guess, kind of delicious. And the mod we're going to be building on today is a series. It's a copper tube mod. It's got a really, really low voltage drop the way the switch is designed. And the addy we're using is a Twist and Messes squared with the Ultim Comfort chuff cap. Importantly, guys, most importantly, you're going to need your drill. I here have a Black & Decker Anarchist Edition. It's pretty cool. Ohm's pretty low. What I'm first going to do is I'm going to take some 26 gauge and I'm going to pull off pretty much what I want that finished wire to be. Maybe a little longer, so I guess about that, maybe a little over a foot. So I'm going to pull that off the spool and I'm going to do the little stretch trick that I've done before. Kind of do a little quick stretch. Straightens out nice. Gonna make a little 1/4 inch little 90-degree bend on it so I can put that in my chuck. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it in my drill, hold the other end with the pliers, and just twist it. And what that will do is get it perfectly straight. Grab this other side with the pliers, put some tension on it. And I twist this like the same way I'm going to be claptoning, which is going to be the opposite way of what you're naturally used to clapping, the direction I mean. About 3-4 seconds should be good enough. Gonna cut off the extra I don't need. And around this, I'm gonna be claptoning around with 33 gauge. I'm using Temco, which is great because Temco wire, they make all things industrial, which includes wire, and it's not necessarily vape wire. It's for all different types of purposes like thermostats and such. So not vape wire, doesn't fall exactly within the FDA regulations, will always be available. I'm just gonna pull off maybe like 3 arm stretch lengths and just have hanging down straight behind me or to my side. And then for this little guy, I'm just going to make a little loop to go around that elbow we bent in on the wire that's in the drill. Stick that on there and just run the drill a little bit till it gets nice and on there. Even put it around one more time just to make sure. And I'm just going to go by feel. Just kind of hold it there. You'll feel if it starts messing up. And I'm just going to Clapton this 26 with this 33. to stop before I get all the way to the end. I got about a 1/4 inch to the end. I'm just going to cut that excess because what's going to happen is all this is under spring tension, like wound up. So you'll see it's going to go brrr. If you have this hanging off of it, that wire I just cut, then what tends to happen is it'll get wrapped up in a big old mess around that, and it's kind of a pain to get it off cleanly. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to take this guy out of the drill, and don't forget, make note to make this Clapton the opposite way you're used to Claptoning directional wise. So I usually go drill with my left, then over the top, but I went underneath the bottom. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to decore this 26 from this 33 wrap. I'm just going to start from the side we started from. You might have to pull off some of the Clapton to get it a little bit looser, which that just happened right there. And I'm just going to pull this guy out. And you got yourself a little floppy 33 gauge coil. Gonna snip off some of that stuff that's stretched out. And now what I'm going to do, guys, so you could either skip this step and move on to do regular alien, or you could include this step and do stitched alien. I feel like it's really worth the little extra step if you have the wire. I'm going to stick 36 through this, but it's going to be really long as that Clapton wrap is going to be, because what we're going to do is we're going to stretch this over the 36. We're going to wrap that around the 224s. For the wire that goes down it, the smaller you use, the better. The bigger the difference, the better. So I'm using 33 outside, 36 inside. So I guess if you, depending on what wire you have, you could do different combinations. Just make sure the inside is smaller than the outside. And I guess I'll do about 2.5, maybe 3 arm stretchy pull thingies. I like to do more than what that 33 gauge Clapton wrap is going to stretch out to. So what I do with this, I'll cut off the end so the tip's nice and cleanly cut so it doesn't grab the inside of this. And while I am doing this, I am watching this other side, waiting for it to come through. Okay, so if you look at the end, you can see it through right there. To make it easier to see?
You got it.
Okay. And you're going to have to anchor this side somehow. I like to use someone else around. Luckily, I have this cameraman right here who has very great editing skills and shooting skills.
Oh, why thank you.
Yeah, I'm flattered. So I'm going to need him to hold this. And what I'm going to do, like I explained, is just going to hold the end of this 33 gauge wrap, stretch it over that 36. And you're going to want the stretch to be about, when you look at it from the side, you'll see zigzaggies. If, say, you just kind of look at it two-dimensionally. You want the stretches to be about at a 90-degree angle. So that's what I'm going to do right now.
And action.
Now that I got this all stretched out, I'm just going to lay it across the counter. Just somewhere where it's not going to get kinked or stepped on or like stretched or anything. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull out some 24, double the length of what the wire is going to end up to. Just rule of thumb for dual coils, you kind of want about a foot. Maybe a little less if you're really good with short leads. But I'd say about there, so pretty much double that because we're going to be working with dual core aliens. So that should be good about there. I'm going to do a little ever so small stretch. And it's nice and straight. Gonna do our little 90-degree bend to stick it in the chuck. To straighten it just like we did the 26 earlier. About 3 or 4 seconds. And you notice I just switched the drill the other way because we're gonna be wrapping this wrap wire the opposite way we wrapped the Clapton originally. And there's a lot of here. I'm sorry, man. So I'm going to put tension on this, spin it about for 3 seconds. Should be good. Just eyeball it, cut that guy in half somewhere. Oh, wow. Look at how that lined up.
Nice.
See it?
Yeah. Good shot.
So I'm going to do a little 90-degree bend on that one too. Stick them both in the chuck. Get them as centered in the chuck as you can. So when you spin the drill, it doesn't want to wobble from it being off center. Just going to snip off that longer leg so I don't get poked by it. Now I'm going to take that 33-36 thing we made earlier, make a little loop just like we did with the 33 gauge, put it over one of the legs, spin it up, make sure it's caught and not going to spin. Oh yeah, one more thing guys, I'm going to cut off that excess, but another thing I've been doing is when you're not using a swivel or anchor and you're working with multiple core wires, you're going to get them swinging around from the centrifugal force. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some 36 gauge and I'm just going to bind the ends so they're not going to be able to whip around separately. Only need a couple of inches, if you know what I mean.
I like that sound.
Sounded like one of those Chinese, like little ding, ding, ding.
Kung Fu Hustle.
Yep. Remember that one coil I did, the 6 coil? I put on Instagram with the Kung Fu Hustle thing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to wrap it around the end a bunch of times. Bind it together. I forgot about that. Pro tip. Pro tip. This really is a pro tip, though.
Mm-hmm.
It should be good enough. Snip the excess. And gonna run my drill not too fast at first. I'm not too slow either. I'm gonna put some pressure on it with my hand. And any inconsistencies, my hand will kind of stretch out that 33 gauge over the 36 and kind of make it uniform, I guess. Just kind of goes a lot by feel. If it ever messes up like it just did on me right here, luckily it happened halfway. There really is no reversing the drill and starting over again. You're just gonna have to keep going because the stretch of this 33 gauge is pretty crucial for the way they line up over the 224s or whatever gauges you're using. So you just gotta keep going. Did a pretty good job with the exception of that kink. Luckily it happened in the middle and we're doing dual cores, so lucky me. And we'll go ahead and take some macro shots so you can check out what it looks like without any untwisting so far. Okay, so it's all wrapped up. I went ahead and snipped off the excess because we're not going to need that anymore. And whoever opens up can clean that up. I'm just kidding, I'll pick it up. So I'm just gonna, when you're done, there's gonna be twists in it. And sometimes one half will twist one way, and then we'll do some crazy thing where it's gonna twist the other way, the other half. In this case, it did that. So in this situation, it's really nice because the messed up part is right in the middle, which is where I'm gonna grasp the wire at. And I'm just gonna drill the opposite way that twist is going. So put some tension on it with your pliers and just slowly untwist it. And that is good enough for that side. Flip it back around to untwist the other side. It doesn't look like this side has much twist to it, so it kind of looks like I could just leave it and it'll flatten out when I wrap it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Sometimes with wire, the more you try to mess with it and manipulate it, the more screwed up it gets, so that is where I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to cut it in half. So I'm going to snip the excess off the part that was originally in the drill because we don't need that crap. And it looks like it ended up, when I snipped it, I guess there was enough tension for it to twist back up. That was weird. Either way, I'm going to take one end, grab a little small part of it, and bend it back around and crimp it down. I do this so that when I wrap it, I'm not going to be pulling off that stitched alien Clapton wrap we made. So I got my screwdriver with a 1/8 inch diameter / 3mm diameter. Pretty standard by today's means. So I'm just going to hold one side with my thumb. And when you wrap this, you want your wraps nice and tight and close together. And I'm going to be doing 4 wraps, which should ohm out to about 0.08. And for all the safety Nazis, I'll be using a Sony VTC4, which ohms pretty damn high, and I'm more than sure it's up to the amp duty it's going to be asked for. Okay, so I wrapped these coils. I had the leads kind of overlap to about a 45, maybe a 90 degree angle almost, on this one at least. And I do that so I can do a lot of the lead work off of the mod. I have them intersecting so that way I could bend them, the leads, back towards that center line, and I'll show you that side shot. Boom. And it's best to do the lead work off of the mod as much as you can. And we're going to snip off any extra that we don't need, leave about a half an inch or so. Ooh, that one got some distance. That one didn't. Gonna do the same for this other guy real quick. Boom, 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 zip, zap. Okay, since we are using the Twisted Messes Squared, this is a 2-post atomizer, but you have 4 terminals, so you can put your leads several different ways. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to have both coils going through the 2 center holes. So for this, I'm just going to put one through, snip off the excess. I'm not tightening the screws yet. Then I'm going to take the other one, do the same exact thing.
So you're using the same?
I'm just doing this right now just so I have lead length, because when I have both coils in there, since they're both going through the same holes, it's going to be very difficult to get in there and trim any excess without snapping the leads of the coil that's on that side.
Makes sense, makes sense.
This strategy is actually usable for a lot of different atomizers, like let's say the Goon or the Dot Mod Petri Addy, and I just cut some of my glove. So I put one in, then I'm going to put the other one in. And just for symmetry as far as electricity goes, I'm going to have one of the holes. I'm just going to pretty much swap which coil goes on top in each hole. And it looks like this lead is twisted a little bit, so I'm just going to straighten that guy out. And they are in. Where's my Allen key? It's right here. And right now they don't look very straight at all, but I know that the slack, as far as the wraps and everything go, is including the lead work, are pretty much the same and symmetrical. And yes, they are touching the posts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten up, level them out, and I'm going to pull out the slack. And usually they end out pretty damn near perfect as far as where I want them. And I'm just going to center them until my OCD approves. And right now, my OCD is pretty happy. Fuck yeah. Squiddied.
Yeah. You liked your picture?
Yeah, bruh.
Nice.
The series all like shined up. And I am going to take a micro shot for you guys, just so you see how pretty it all is wrapped up. And also for the gram, because Insta fame.
Action.
Okay, so the coils are in. They're pretty centered and they're pretty level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pulsing it to get the wraps firing evenly. You'll notice with this build, all the little Clapton wires going back and forth, electricity is going to want to jump across them. So it's pretty important to just take it easy on this step. The step of trying to get them firing even. So you don't want to get a hot leg and pop it on accident after all this work. See all the little hot spots? I'm just gonna pulse it out till the metal gets all nice and goody.
Damn it, we're so blurry. Okay.
What people actually do, pretty known, that they fan across the coils. I find that pretty nerve-wracking after all this work, working with 33 and 30 on the outside, 33 and 36 on the outside. So I just kind of, if I really need to get the coils that ever so slight space, is I'll just take the screwdriver and just kind of move it around. What that will do is I'll move the wraps around just enough to get them micro-gapped enough to where I'm just going to go ahead and check my screws, because after you pulse the wire it's going to get soft and squish and stuff. A lot of hot spots. Okay guys, so we got our coils firing nice and even. We're gonna wick this guy up. I use gloves because the oils from the hands will make the cotton taste nasty, and some people will tell you, oh, it just needs to be broken in and stuff, but just try it. So I am just gonna, let's just do traditional strips. Some people do the roll, sometimes I'll do the roll, other times I'll just do this, the little, little strips. Sometimes the rolls can be a little touchy as far as density goes. You get a little too dense, then there's not enough room for juice. It kind of sizzles after you hit it, and that's no bueno. The strips are a lot easier to get consistent. So I got about, let's say, like 1/4 inch strip, a little bit wider than that. And what I did at the end, I'm just pinching and rolling. I'm not necessarily like twisting it up. I'm just squeezing and rolling. I'm compressing that end down so I can get it through my coil and pull it through. So I got that. Let's get that a little more compressed. Stick it through. Grab one end. Pull the other end tight. And what that will do is it'll make all the threads kind of skinnier and make it easier to pull this whole thing through. Kind of wiggle it back and forth, get it nice and even. Kind of fluff out the ends a little bit. I'm just going to do the same for the other side. It's looking nice. I have these coils sitting a little bit high, but with the wick ends, usually I'll have it go down to the bottom of the deck with a little bit extra, so it has like a nice little poof action on the edge right there on the end. So I'll just cut my cotton ends to about the length I feel they'll need to be. Just kind of eyeball it. Now what I also do, this is why I'm going to need these little sharp tweezer guys. And I'm just going to go ahead and comb these guys out, thin it out, pull out some of that cotton. What that's going to do is you're going to get a lot of cotton off of there. And that does mean less cotton in the deck, which also means more juice in the deck, because cotton also takes up physical space. And you'll also find it wicks up a lot more effectively. Does that sound bother you? It doesn't bother me. I see some people like, it's like, oh, it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Really? I actually find it soothing, to be honest.
right? It's like a back scratch.
Like a back scratch, or like you have that huge ass rack that's you're racking down like a bunch of hay.
What? Okay, so I'm just gonna get the end, get it kind of together-ish. Just poke it down towards the deck, like so. And I'm gonna do that to the other 3 sides. It's like a hay.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Like raking up like grass or something?
You know, like dry hay, like, you know, farmers, they wrap all those big old square hay, but they have like the rack and they, and it's kind of like cutting it down, kind of, you know?
Like cutting down bales of hay?
Yeah.
It does kind of sound like walking through like a field that's been cut down.
Mm-hmm.
Or like... Okay, guys, so we're all wicked up, looking nice and pretty. And I am going to juice this bad boy up. Drip shot.
Mm-hmm.
Did it go down the mud?
A little bit.
Okay. There's a frosted out showing.
Mm-hmm.
Literally like juice vape porn. Oh yeah, drip the juice. Oh yeah, drip. Oh yeah. It's. Oh yeah, it's flooded. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's soaking in. It's wicking. It's wicking.
Mm-hmm.
Let's fire that guy a couple times. Alright. One of the benefits of doing this build is you get all those little crevices and crannies and stuff, trannies. Crevice, crannies, trannies. And it actually makes it pretty spitty, which can give you more flavor if you like spittiness. Also, all those little perforations and stuff, it allows the juice to flow to the surface a lot more effectively. And also the wrapper on the outside, that doesn't heat up as fast as the cores on the inside, so the cotton itself is it's got that little heat barrier, at least for the initial heating of the coil. Well, let's vape this guy and try out this awesome juice again. It's really good. Really milky, like powdered sugar almost. Really like kind of like oats. Like if you've had bird brains, you'll kind of know what I mean by corny. Like literally like corn. Similar, that's like in Pop D's or Telios number. I forget what it is, but it's got that really good cereal flavor, I guess is a good way to put it. And this mod hits so hard. There's like 0 voltage drop, I feel like. It's very small, almost not measurable with normal instruments. You want to give it a shot, dude? Gonna have the editor man here. Tables have turned. Yeah. Editor man. Yeah, the filmographer man. Dripping that frosty. What is that? What is that? Wait. Oh, yeah.
Had a little spit there. That's good. Really tasty.
You can taste the juice.
It's like eating a bowl of cereal in the morning and you just finish a whole Cheerios. You get that creamy, milky bowl just go into your face and just drizzle all over your face.
Oh.
Oh, that's good. That's real good.
Give us another one. Give us one last good one.
That's good.
What you're doing, and I'm totally not being sarcastic. Oh, don't do it, huh? Don't.
The whole explosion thing.
What?
Banana? Is that like a pudding?
No.
I'm trying to think about